After nearly 2 weeks of nightly strikes, the U.S. has hit pause on bombing Iran. President Trump saying the military has plenty of firepower, but he's holding off as the mullahs come begging for peace talks. Watch this.
I have a lot of patience. I have plenty of time. We're having good talks. So we'll see what happens. I think there's a good chance that something could happen. And if it does, good. If it doesn't, we go back to doing what we were doing 2 days ago. We have plenty. We have a lot of ammunition, more than we could ever use no matter what. But we have a lot. I'd like to have more, to be honest. But so much was given to Ukraine by Biden.
But Democrats are ready to cut and run, no matter the fallout. Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen wants Trump to pull the ripcord on the war.
When you're digging a hole, you just stop digging. And my view is that's what we should do. Prime Minister Netanyahu convinced Donald Trump that it would be quick and that we would get regime change. And what we've gotten instead is an even more militant Iranian regime. And the Strait of Hormuz, of course, is still closed now when it was open the day before the war. So my view is just end it right now.
All right, end it right now, Dana. But don't you think it would be nice to hear from some of these Democrats what their plan is on Iran? Because, you know, as Brian Kilmeade pointed out on my podcast today, this has not been a surprise. And, you know, we have seen laid out the Iranian attacks and proxy attacks over the years. So clearly this is a massive problem. So what do Democrats do now?
Well, does the administration? Because the Iranians are, and the Gulf allies are, and the Houthis now want in, and there are multiple problems. I'm uncomfortable talking about munitions because that should be classified, but it's been going on for a couple of months. And you had Ambassador Waltz on the shows yesterday saying, there's no problem here, there's nothing to see here, and whoever leaked that should be prosecuted or like find the leaker. But then there are reports on off the record, people saying, well, there's another camp in the White House that is saying, actually, we do have a munitions problem, and maybe we do. I don't know. I just think that we probably shouldn't be talking about that because we have lots of adversaries, and we need to be clear about that. The Iranians, they've got a death wish, and when the president says he has patience, so do they. Like, they'll wait this out. They don't care about pain for their people. They don't care about their people at all. I'm interested to see what happens tomorrow when Netanyahu comes, because there are objectives that the president laid out in going into the war. Not all of them have been met. And so he has patience, but he also has to show some sort of visible victory. I don't think leaving it the way it is going to satisfy the Gulf allies, and it's certainly not good for the economy. If you think of what the president said the last time when he wanted the ceasefire, is he did not want to be Herbert Hoover because somebody had been telling him that we could enter into something worse than the Great Depression if we didn't handle the global concerns about the economy. So I think there's still a lot of balls in the air, and I'm not sure where they're going to fall.
All right, so there are balls in the air. There are also missiles in the air, Jesse. Who does it benefit to leak information?
Pretty well wired in the Pentagon, and I have not heard that publicly and privately. So who knows? I do know who is kind of running out of munitions, and that's the Iranians. They broke the ceasefire, so we unloaded about a 2-week bombing campaign on the coastline to degrade their ability to attack the Strait, and it worked. They haven't attacked a tanker in the Strait for 5 straight days. So at the briefing by Brad Cooper, not the actor, CENTCOM commander, he told the president, we're out of targets. We've hit everything on that coastline. The only next step would be to just knock off the rest of the targets that we saved during Epic Fury throughout the rest of the country. And the president said, all right, you know what? Let's pause it. People are telling me, why don't we give peace one more chance? So I guess they're back to talks. And now here's what the talks are about. A toll is not a toll. A toll can be a service fee, like the Strait of Malacca. They want to make that the Strait of Hormuz. So Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, they do like an environmental service fee for a few boats. It's not like a blanket toll, but at least it would make the Iranians save face. Now, while we talk, we're still bringing back a lot of firepower, and some special operators are now in theater. So that'll be interesting. We had Kellogg on the other day, and he said, you know what happens, Jesse, when you play sports? You let a team hang around a little too long. And then something happens. Ball bounces differently. Maybe someone gets hurt. The next thing you know, you're like, whoa. That's why he thinks you got to finish people off, and you got to finish them off quickly. Luckily, we got polling that says Republicans are trusted more on Iran.
To get that market manipulation all geared up for another day. So I guess I'll follow whatever he and his kids and Jared Kushner are investing in. That fancy footwork that Jesse just did about an environmental toll being okay because it lets the Iranians save face is insane. That's basically just saying Iran will continue to control the Strait of Hormuz in perpetuity. And maybe we should have thought about that before we started this thing. If it was part of the wargaming, which everyone from the defense secretary to General Kane has said that it was, how did you not expect this to happen? It's like you gave them the best toy ever and you think they're just going to give it back to you. That is not how toddlers behave. And Jesse should know that.
Because I'm a father, not a toddler.
Exactly.
However you want to slice it, you are that. Nobody believes Donald Trump when he says we're locked and loaded. They don't believe him about bridge and power plant day. They don't believe him about how well diplomacy is going. They don't believe him about wiping the civilization off the face of the planet. It is like just blowing smoke and just out into the world. And it helps those, I guess, again, to go back to the market manipulation, because he always likes to say, well, things are just getting better and better and better, though $87 a barrel. It was down to 70 a week and a half ago when I told you it's going to go back up because of the waivers being yanked away. And you were like, oh, Jessica.
I mean, don't you guys like high oil prices, Jessica? You said you wanted high oil prices.
And then
for 4 years, you drove them up to $90 a barrel, and you said that was a good thing. And what was it for?
Versus an environmental fee. In terms
it's the difference between a man and a woman. You guys just changed the definition of things.
Okay.
This is a little bit different.
As a proud mother of two who got it out of my own body, I know full well what a woman is and I know what a man is. And using that Marsha Blackburn thing for 8 years in perpetuity is just stupid. The leakers. Every leak that we have read about has been true and come to fruition, whether it's the draft of the MOU, where you say it's Iranian propaganda. It's actually the MOU. The first set of leaks went to the Atlantic, and that looked like it was J.D. Vance's team. This set of leaks, which is supposedly about J.D. Vance being concerned about munitions and General Kane, is in the Times and the Wall Street Journal. You don't think that after going through months of this, having to go after Iran over and over again when it was billed as maybe just a few weeks, hasn't depleted our munitions, and that China isn't looking at Taiwan?
Or Jessica, you don't even know anything about Taiwan, okay? You don't even know anything about it.
What do you know about Taiwan?
You know what, Jessica? The munitions that we used, imagine we had waited 10 years until a Democrat was president, and then we started fighting Iran. And then we started fighting Iran. That was the whole point of the operation, because if you let them build up these missile silos, then you're never going to be able to take out the nuclear program. It's better we did it now than never. That's the argument.
All right, Tyrus.
Well, I think this is one of the reasons why Iran's still hanging around, because if they turn on this war, all they have to do is stay the course for another 2 years and help is on the way. But 1,000%, I believe everything the president is saying. He could send them back to the Stone Age. He will have Bridge Day. Let's draw a line in the sand. This is the one president that doesn't do red lines and be like, cross this line or this, okay, and then take a step back. I dare you to cross this line. I dare you to cross this line. If they cross the line, he's clearly demonstrated he has no problem going FUBAR all over them. Right now, he's giving diplomacy a chance because he's still continuing to try to be a peace-first president when it's getting to the point where it's like, you've done all you can. It is time to end this. And again, we're not in year 6 talking about this. We're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're down to, well, they got some power plants, a couple bridges, you know, like it's getting to the point where there'll be nothing left. And this is the one president who means what he says and says what he means.
Yeah, I think Dana's right, though. I think Iran has...
Fox News, officially the Fox News Channel or FNC, is a prominent American multi-platform conservative news and political commentary television network and website based in New York City. Owned by Fox Corporation, it is one of the most watched cable news networks in the United States. Key overview, launch date October 7th, 1996. Founders Rupert Murdoch and Roger Ailes. Target audience and viewership, known primarily for its conservative political commentary and appeal to right-leaning audiences. Core programming features a mix of straight news reporting during daytime hours and high-profile opinion and commentary programming during prime time. Popular programs and personalities. Morning and daytime, Fox and Friends, America's Newsroom, The Faulkner Focus, Outnumbered. Prime time and evening features commentary and analysis from hosts such as Brett Baier, Special Report, Jesse Waters, Sean Hannity, and Laura Ingraham. Platforms: television, available via cable, satellite, and live streaming platforms. Digital, link to foxnews.com, the Fox News mobile app, and streaming services like Fox Nation provide